Really cool.
Well, hello retro game players, thank you for tuning in. I'm Marcus. Today I wanted to show you guys my modded Wii. Now this Wii has been with me since the beginning. It's actually very old at this point, and it has two different types of mods on it. So I thought I'd talk about, why it's modded two different ways, how that happened, and some of the procedures that I went through. Although this isn't really a walkthrough on how to mod your Wii, there are, articles you can find online. Somewhere I have a link to the one I followed, but the benefit of this is that you can load up the Homebrew Channel, and then you can have all types of emulators running off of it, and then you can play the games using like the classic controller or whatever you want, and it's actually really awesome. So let's go ahead and check out what the main system looks like, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the background of how I modded it two different times. Okay, here's a quick shot of my modded Wii. Nothing real special, except on top, besides the FrameMeister, which is just resting there, is an external Toshiba 320 gig drive, and that is plugged into the bottom USB port of the Wii. I'm not sure why, but a lot of the emulators do not see anything if it's plugged into the top USB port. So it's plugged into the bottom on the back of the unit. And then I do have a Wavebird controller on the side there. The output is going into this device right here, which is a component to HDMI converter, and it works really well. I think it was about 20 bucks. And it's also where I hook up my PSP as well. So pretty useful little device. And it does look really good. And then I capture everything. If it's not going through my FrameMeister, then it goes into my Elgato. So my Elgato HD60. But yeah, that's the Wii there. And so now I'll show you the menu and talk about my different modding options that I've done. All right, so here we are at the main menu of the modded Wii. This Wii has been hard modded, actually, with something called the Wii key when I first got it. So it's a tiny little chip that you solder in, and it would allow playing of backups and things like that. But later on, I did a soft mod because I think it was that I couldn't get the Homebrew Channel to work right or whatever, but the Homebrew Channel allows emulators to launch from it, and also other homebrew things like different apps and games and stuff like that. In addition, there is this Wahb Manager, which allows you to load and unload your own custom WADs or WADs that are available too. So here's all the Mega Man ones. I believe I made some of these, and then also you'll notice I have like 9 and 10, which were, pretty good. Anyway, so I'm going to go into the Homebrew Channel and just kind of show you what that's about in here. But yeah, it was basically the benefit of this is to have all these emulators. So I currently am playing with the Wii Pro controller. That's what's being controlled by the Wiimote. And then also you can use like the classic controller. I think that's what this is called. And then I have a Wavebird hooked up and ready to go as well, because I'll first show you this thing up top, which is called the Wii Flow. So the Wii Flow, whoops, I changed the view. Let me go into the Wii Flow here. Is a Gamecube Launcher. So there's quite a few disk images in here, but I do have to switch to this controller. And the other thing that's a little weird is, so you can see I have a bunch, of games. These are all awesome, but what the problem is that they kind of, I'd say like getting the game to work all the time is kind of tricky with this particular launcher. But so I'm gonna go ahead and say let's play this one, Luigi's Mansion. So it's gonna launch here. Part of the problem is that when it launches, like right now my Wii light comes on and it's checking for a disc, and there's no disc in there. Some of these games require you to have a GameCube disc in there or a Wii disc in there something for it to see. But a lot of them don't. Like I would say like 80% don't. So now I'm playing with the Wavebird, what I like to display in progressive scan. That will work, so I'll just say yes, and it'll toggle over. Now the only problem with this is that when I want to exit the game, there's not really a good way to get back to your home menu, because once you're in here, it's like the GameCube's version of this is playing. So like if I hit the home key on the Wiimote, it doesn't do anything. It will not connect. And I don't think I can do anything to get out of here. Like, I mean, this is an awesome game, but yeah, there's no way to get out of here. So unfortunately, you pretty much have to reset the Wii to get back. But anyway, so I'm going to do that right now, and then we'll be back at the Homebrew Channel. Alright, so now we are back. I've turned off the Wavebird because once, you know, it's really only used for the GameCube games. I think you can use it on some of these, but I'm just going to use this one. So we'll go into each one, and I'll just show you how they work. So this is the NES one, and what's funny is the buttons are sometimes reversed, which gets like a little confusing. So let's just go here to Shatterhand. So there we are. This is an awesome game, by the way. Awesome soundtrack. I use some of the music in some of my videos. So yeah, here's Shatterhand. Also, I'm looking at my capturing, and I can tell you the game is a little skewed, but that's just my capture setup. But okay, so now I can't remember how to get back. I think I hit the home key. So I want to go to the main menu, and then I gotta go to exit, and it should take me back. I don't know if it takes me all the way to the home screen. It might. No, okay, good. So then I'll go into the Super NES loader here. And by the way, these are all old version of the emulators because I haven't updated them. Like once I got this set up, I just left it alone, you know. Let's go ActRaiser. So there you go. I love this intro song. Very epic. Okay, so now I'm gonna go out of here. It is awesome having all these, you know, work and also be wireless. The Dios Mios booter, has to do with Wii Flow. It's like a part of that, so it has something to do with like basically Wii Flow is the front end or the graphic interface for Dios Mios, I don't know if that's pronounced right, but basically you can do most everything with that boot loader right there. The Wii engine, this is TurboGrafx 16, and the buttons flip, so I may accidentally exit out, and you have to kind of wait for it to load here, which takes a while. Here's all the credits for everybody. Okay, let's see, press 1A. This is how I always get lost on this emulator. So I don't know why it turned off my Wiimote, but the GameCube controller's working, so I'll just choose that. So let's go to, Robo Kid. I love this game. I really only played this on the Genesis, but and the arcade game. But I do love this game. So, okay, so let me see if I can get out of here. I don't know if I have to reboot the thing. It did just take me back here and it worked. I don't know why. Sometimes these are a little quirky. Alright, so Neo Gamma. Now, Neo Gamma is actually used to launch new backups of like Wii games. So, I'm trying to think of an example, but like a newer Wii game that is a burned copy on a DVD. This will bypass the internal check. I'm not really sure. The Wii key is supposed to do that anyway, but basically the Wii key only goes up to a certain point in time. For example, like Super Mario Galaxy 2 will not be bypassed or will not work without using something like this, or I don't know, I can't remember, but that's an example. Alright, so we're going to go into the Genesis here. This is perhaps one of the coolest ones as well, so... Okay, so in here what's weird is you got to go into your controller, and I always get confused in here, but you want to make sure you're using the right controller. It's a little confusing. Okay, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I just remember kind of messing up in there. So then you can choose Sega CD, Master System, Game Gear. We'll go ahead and do a Sega CD version first. So yeah, let's try Dragon's Lair. So we're going to launch the ISO. This should be the Sega CD version. There we go. Check that out. That's the firmware. So in order to get this to work, you do have to have like one of the firmwares. I like the old school Sega CD Model 2 firmware, which actually has different music than what you just heard. The first time I ever really got to play this on a home console was this version, and my friend had it, and it was unbelievable. Honestly, we like played this for like so much. Not sure if I'm hitting the right button. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. We'll go load game. We'll go to Mega Drive, and let's choose a different one. You can see I have Sega CD set up in its own folder, so I could actually go in and choose like other games or something. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna go in here. Let's see, what's a good one? Philios. This is one of my favorite games. I love the sound design of this game. So that's pretty much it, though. These are all the emulators. I think it's really impressive, personally, to be able to play the Sega CD games and have that launch, you know. And I've said this before in my other videos that, you know, if you want to play a certain game and it sells for $500 or something, like, by all means, I think it's okay to go ahead and get a ROM and play it. I don't see why you would have to, you know, spend so much money to enjoy a game. But with that said, you know, I have a pretty big collection. I try and play, at least on the channel, I try not to play ROMs. It's pretty rare when I do, so I usually play the actual games. And most of these, you know, are whatever. I try and collect them. So anyway, you guys, that's the modded Wii. And I hope this was informative. Again, I'm not really going to be able to help you mod your Wii, but there are tons of articles online, and at least this gives you an idea of what can be done. So until next time, you got to keep that shit retro by playing your old Wii running Philios, the Sega Genesis game, later on.